turn it a bit. Or don't. I should put that off while we're doing this, otherwise we're going to have another flat battery. That'll do. It's not perfect, but it's not as good as a view as that one, but it's okay for a backup.
Yeah.
Could you just put your hand about there so I can see where it comes on the screen? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Right, so just if you press record
On this one?
Yeah, on the touch, you know, you can see it with the red.
Wait a minute.
Big circle.
Oh, it's counting. It's on 49, 50. Is that?
Oh, it's recording then. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's not just playing; it is recording.
No, it is recording.
Right. Fine. I'll shut the door.
Okay.
Right. I think we're okay then, Julie. Yeah.
Good morning, folks, and welcome to another apple tasting video. What's this, Nigel? Is this the?
I think this is the fifth
of the
season.
Yeah, the 2022-2023 season.
Yeah, we were hoping to meet about a fortnight ago, but we both had slight problems, and so we had to delay it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope this makes up for it. We're into the later part of the season now. It's now November the 2nd, is it?
I believe so. Let's have a look. Modern flat battery, so it's going into power saving.
Right, well,
I think it's the second.
I think it's the second. But the point about that is, once we're into November, any apples that are still on your trees are worth picking, and they should keep. Don't pick them until you want to use them, unless they're being pecked by the birds. But once you're into November, apples that you pick will usually store for quite a long time. Up to that time, they don't store very well. We've got some interesting ones here today, some of which we haven't seen before. And if you pass the first one, Julie, you can see that's a fairly spectacular looking apple. And this is a Leicestershire apple, which we've discovered recently in a hedgerow in Potter's Marston. In about, 5 years ago, I think it was. And it's about 4 miles from here. And you can see it's a lovely big apple. It's actually an eater.
It actually looks a bit like a supermarket variety, doesn't it?
It looks a little bit like Gala, but it's quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what the parent is of this, but I haven't tasted this for a year or two. It may be slightly unusual because of the heat that we've had this summer.
Thank you.
Oh, it's gone a little bit glassy inside. That's usually caused by excessive water after a dry period. What's it like, Julie?
It's gorgeous.
Wow, that is good.
Yeah. Another piece, big piece for that, yeah.
It's quite soft.
Soft, tasty, skin's okay.
Yeah. It's very fruity. Yeah, very good.
Well,
I think that might be a 5.
Definitely a 5, yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice.
Oh, yeah. Should we have another piece? Which I think it's a shame to.
It is rather soft, but it's attractive. It's good. Excellent. I'll get my sheet. That was a surprise.
I think that's one of the best ones I've ever tasted.
Yeah, that's a surprise. So we've got a 10 to start with, 5 and a 5. Right, next one is. Oh, we'll better take that out of the way. Can you put that in the box there? Thank you. This one is a Tasmanian apple, Hoonville crab, which we've seen before. and you can see it's one of these apples that's red inside. Some years it's pretty good, other years it's, you know, pretty average. Skin's okay. It's not as sweet as the last one.
No.
Oh, and it's got a bit of a harsh bitter aftertaste. Can you taste that?
No, I can't actually, but...
Well, we've seen that before. You can't taste the bitter things
No.
quite so much as me.
No.
It's not bad.
That's quite good actually.
Oh, I think I'm going to give it a 3.5. I don't like the bitter flavour in it.
I think I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
I can't taste any bitterness from it.
People's perceptions are so different. We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
But I certainly have no problem in eating a whole one. It's you know, quite pleasant. Our scoring system, by the way, it's 5-point scale. 3 is average. Anything less than 3 is in some way unpleasant, and 5 is couldn't be any better. Right, next one. Next one is another red-fleshed apple, Pendragon.
We've had this before.
Yeah, we've had this before.
Yeah.
It's always good for cooking, but this is often quite tart. But as I said, this year is a bit unusual. Oh, this feels quite soft again. This was picked yesterday. Not sure about that. A bit more.
Yeah.
It's nothing like it was last year. It was almost unpleasant to eat as an eating apple, but it cooked okay. I'm liking that.
Yeah, that's not
all
bad
right.
at all. No.
That's good.
It's the skin's breaks up nicely. It's soft. It's tasty.
It is. Yeah.
I'm actually going to give that a 4 again.
Yeah. I think that is certainly worth a 4. Certainly a 4.
Yeah.
The fourth one is one which we haven't seen before. It's first fruit picked yesterday. This is an apple called Utopia. I'm not sure where it's come from. It was sent to me by a friend who sent me some cuttings about 5 years ago. Oh, it's got a slightly creamy flesh, yellowish flesh.
It's firmer.
Oh, it is, isn't it? Yeah, quite a lot firmer. It's got a lot of flavour.
It certainly has.
Very fruity, very juicy. I think that's better than the last one.
I need another bite of that.
Yeah.
Just...
Oh, this is really very pleasant. Well, I'm reluctant to do this, but I think that's worth a 5.
It's almost a 5, but I'm going to give it a 4.5. The only thing that lets it down is the skin.
Yeah, yeah, that was just flashing through my mind a little bit. Yeah, it's okay, but it's not as tender as those others.
But it's really tasty.
It is, yeah. So 4.5. I think I'll go to 4.5. You're right. It has got that slight, just a very slight defect. Yeah, but excellent apple. Really good.
4 good apples.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. Next one is West Virginia Sweet. I had trouble finding some decent apples this year. It's a very shy fruiter. It doesn't have much fruit on any years really. And to make it worse, it's a tip bearer. There we go.
Oh, was that a tip bearer?
Tip, T-I-P.
Oh, sorry.
And this has a different sort of flavour to it. It's sort of got a floral, slightly unusual flavour, a bit like violets. A bit more. It's not as firm as some of the last apple that we saw, but it's not as soft as the Pendragon or the Potter's Marston.
Taste is delicious.
It is.
It really is.
It's
just skin, yeah.
The skin, yeah.
It's just that little bit. Lets it down. It doesn't dissolve in your mouth as well.
It's almost a 5. I think that's going to be a 4.5.
4.5 for me. Yeah.
Very nice.
Wow. This is turning out to be a excellent taster, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Yes, all high ones so far. Next one is Hidden Rose. We've seen this one before. This was picked a couple of days ago. This was one bred in California by Albert Etter, as our regular viewers will know. And you can see it's slightly elongated, like the Potter's Marston apple, but it's not nearly as big. And it's got nice, solid pink flesh in it. It's quite firm. A little bit more tart than the ones we've just had, and not as much sugar, not as sweet.
It's got a unique taste. Tastes lovely to me.
Yeah, it's got a nice flavour. Yeah, lack of sugar is not necessarily a defect. Just a different sort of taste. It's got a sort of red currant or raspberry flavour in the background, just a little bit. What do you think of the skin?
Skin lets it down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's
yeah.
it is lovely. It's a 4.5 again.
Yeah,
for me.
it is for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's, the taste. These tastes are all different, but they're all lovely.
Yeah, but
Nothing like the taste what you get from a supermarket apple.
yeah,
Totally different.
that one, I thought it's got a little bit of a hint of oranges in it or something.
There was something about that, but I couldn't focus in on what it reminded me of. But it certainly reminded me of something.
Yeah, yeah. This one, I don't think we've tasted this in one of these tastings before. This is an apple called Leah.
No, I haven't.
L-E-A. It comes from Estonia. This was sent to me by a friend who lives there. Actually a student. He was a teenager when he sent me this a few years ago. And it's an unusual variety because it's seedless. Now when we come to apples, seedless doesn't necessarily mean there's no seeds in it, because if it gets pollinated it will produce seeds, but it means that it will produce fruit without being pollinated, without any bees. Oh, slightly soft, nice flavour. Slightly sweet. Oh, the skin's good. A bit more.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Quite a white flesh on this one, with just a hint of pink under the skin.
This is a tricky one, Nigel. I'm not sure what to.
The
I
flavour.
can't find any fault in the.
I can't, but the flavour is a little bit weaker, isn't it?
It's different, yeah.
And I don't know whether it's just bland or is it just a subtle,
I don't know.
mild flavour.
Yeah.
I
mean, I'm going to give that a 4. I mean, it's just something. The taste just doesn't compare to the others, you
Not
know.
quite, but I've got the feeling that if we tasted that one first, because some of these are quite strong flavours.
Yes.
If we
We
tasted
might
it
have gave
first,
it a 5, yeah.
yeah, we might have done.
Might
I think
have.
I'm going to give it a 4.5,
All right.
and you're going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the sequence of tasting of apples in a tasting can be quite important, and I try to arrange matters so that the stronger flavours come last. But of course, if it's an unknown apple, I don't know what the flavour's like. Right, what's this? Oh, this one is a Leicestershire apple, Barnack orange. Barnack is a village just outside Stamford in Leicestershire. I don't think we've tasted this one before in one of these sessions. It's a nice regular cropper. The apples are usually quite small. Nice appley flavour. At least a 4 for me. Do you want a bit more?
Yeah, just
A little bit.
yeah. I think I'll agree with you. 4, Nigel. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
The next one might not be quite ready. That's the little one there. This is an apple from Norfolk, found by Brian Durrant in a hedgerow. It's sort of brindled appearance, sort of browny red, and it can keep very, very late. But of course this year it's been sort of fried on the tree during that very hot period. I don't know, that doesn't really taste like apple. A bit more. It was quite pleasant. The flavour is a bit odd. It doesn't remind me of any other fruit much, does it you?
No.
Remember, in lots of apples you can taste hints of oranges or raspberries or other things, but this one, no, not really.
Not sure. I think I'm going. It's a difficult one. A 3.5. Maybe.
Yeah, I think.
4. I don't know.
I think I'm going for 4. It is pretty good.
It is.
It's high sugar.
Yeah.
It's firm, juicy.
Yeah, I'll go for a 4.
Yeah. This is an apple from Surfleet near Spalding. We call it Surfleet sour because originally we thought it was a sour apple, possibly a descendant of a crab apple, but we realise now that it's quite a good eating apple. It's got a pale yellow flesh. And this was found by a friend of ours living near Surfleet in a hedgerow or at the side of the road. It's got quite a powerful flavour, hasn't it? Quite strong.
It's a very firm apple.
Mm. It's rather fruity. It's a little bit tart, but it's a good balance between the tartness and the sweetness.
Just the skin.
Yeah, the skin is
Skin
a little.
is a bit chewable, you know.
Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not perfect.
It's got to be a 4 again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think I'm going
I
for.
can't believe it. These scores.
I'm going for 4.5 because I thought the flavour was rather good.
Yeah.
Rather strong. Next one is Rubayat. This is bred by Albert Etta in California again, one of his red-fleshed apples. And the colour you can see is very dark. I'll show it to both cameras. We have a backup camera here as always. Well, quite an unusual flavour again.
Yeah, totally different to the others.
Yeah, you can taste berries or something in there which is not really apple related. I don't know. About a 4, I think. 4?
Yeah. I mean, you quite happily eat one, especially if you take the skin off.
And it's a nice size. The skin looks nice. It's not greasy. Fairly firm, nice and juicy. Right, I think I'll go for a 4 then. Same for you. Yeah. The next one we have not tasted before at all. I've never eaten this, not even before the tasting. This is Bladen pippin, and I was given this by a friend down in Worcestershire. It was picked about a fortnight ago. Well, that's good. Skin disappears, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The flesh is very faintly yellow. It's sort of creamy colour.
That's a 5. It's excellent.
It is. There's nothing wrong with it.
No.
Absolutely nothing. And it's been off the tree for a fortnight, so it's keeping pretty well also.
Yeah. Lovely.
Now I think you might know what this one is, Julie. But it's not from a supermarket. They often come in from France. This is actually a Golden Delicious grown in England,
Yeah.
and it's not a bad apple. They hang on the tree a long time, so they're great for picking in November. The flavour isn't as distinctive as some of these others, but in other respects, everything about it is really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm going for 4.5 on that one.
Four for me.
4, okay, good. It's not an exciting apple, you've got to say that. It's not exciting, it's just good, middle of the road, really pretty decent apple that you wouldn't mind eating every day. And the last one is a freshly picked Ribstone pippin. Ribstone is reckoned by some people to be the best flavoured English apple. We're getting towards the end of the Ribstone season, but this should be okay. This was picked about 3 days ago. And Ribstone, as some of you all know, is the parent of Cox's Orange Pippin. A little bit more.
Yeah.
I think this one has probably hung on the tree a little bit longer than ideal. It's perhaps past its peak slightly.
That's very nice.
It's good though, isn't it? It's still for me, it's still a 4.5.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, if we'd picked it a week ago, it would have been a 5, I think.
Yeah. No.
Wow, what a load of scores! There's not a bad one among them.
That's amazing. You
Right.
know, they were that. It's got to be the best apple tasting.
Yeah, we've never had one as good as that.
No.
Yeah, easily the best that we've ever had.
God.
Right, let's get the little notice
We've got a
board.
variety of red and white and yellow.
Yeah, and they're all tasting great.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, there's one more thing I want to show you before we depart. We should give you the scores. There's the scores so you can have a look. I'm often asked about russets. And russets are apples which have a sort of rough skin, rather like a conference pear. And I found an oddity on one of my plots. Now this apple here we've tasted before. This is Kostela from Poland, and you can see it's not russeted at all. It's completely smooth and yellow. It's a nice apple. Here from the same tree is an apple of Kostela, but just look what it's like. If I rotate it, you can see 3/4 of it is covered in russet. And that happens to some apples when they're hit by frost at a crucial stage in the apple's development, when they're about as big as, well, smaller than a golf ball, like a marble. But that's quite remarkable apple. I've never seen one quite like that.
No. In fact, when you had them over there from a distance, I thought, what's Nigel showing us a mouldy apple for?
No, it's not mouldy, is it? No, but you can see it's in
I can see now, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Really strange. So I thought you'd be interested in seeing that. Right, we're hoping to do another tasting with late apples again before too long. I don't know exactly when it will be, because we're not sure, because of the hot weather, how well things are going to store this year. But all being well, we should be back in what shall we say, a couple of weeks?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we
hopefully,
hope.
yeah.
Okay, so thank you for watching.
Yeah.
And here's to next time.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. Bye. That recorded okay. Just got that one switched off.
Oh, and it's 30 minutes exactly.